It was a regular Tuesday morning at Lincoln High School. Students shuffled into their math class, half asleep and barely ready to face another intense lecture from Mr. Carson, the strictest and most sarcastic teacher in the school. Known for his sharp tongue and high standards, he enjoyed intimidating students with challenging problems and never missed a chance to show off his knowledge. That morning, he scribbled a massive calculus equation on the whiteboard, something even his top students struggled to follow. "This," he said with a smirk, "is called a real problem. Not for the faint-hearted, definitely not for amateurs." The class groaned. Just then, Mr. Carson noticed Mr. James, the janitor, mopping the hallway floor just outside the room. He called out, loud enough for the entire class to hear. "Hey, James, want to give this a shot?" he said, chuckling. "You solve it and I'll give you my job." The room burst into laughter. Mr. James was a quiet, humble man in his late 50s. He came in early, left late, always polite, always silent. Nobody ever thought of him beyond the mop he carried, or the tools he used to fix broken desks. To the students, he was just the janitor. Mr. James slowly looked up, pushed his mop to the side, and stepped into the classroom. He didn't laugh. He didn't even smile. "May I?" he asked, pointing to the marker in Mr. Carson's hand. Confused but amused, Mr. Carson handed it over. The students watched, still snickering, as Mr. James calmly approached the board. For a moment, silence. Then, like a trained mathematician, Mr. James began solving. He rearranged terms, integrated functions, and explained his steps out loud in a calm, clear voice. The class's laughter slowly faded. One by one, mouths dropped open. Even Mr. Carson leaned forward, his arms slowly uncrossing. Within 5 minutes, Mr. James placed the marker down and stepped back. "There," he said, "that's the solution. I hope I didn't get any signs wrong." Mr. Carson walked up to the board and stared. It was correct, completely, undeniably correct. The classroom sat in stunned silence. Not a single student moved. No one breathed. Mr. James gave a small nod and walked back toward the hallway, picking up his mop like nothing happened. Only after he disappeared around the corner did Mr. Carson mutter under his breath, "Who is he?" The students looked at each other wide-eyed. This wasn't just a janitor. This man had a mind sharper than any teacher in the school, and no one had any idea. Until now. After the shocking moment in class, rumors about Mr. James spread through Lincoln High like wildfire. Students whispered in the halls, teachers exchanged confused glances, and even the principal was caught asking around. Who was this janitor who just solved a problem that stumped even the math teacher? Later that day, Mr. James was called to the principal's office, not because he was in trouble, but because everyone wanted answers. He walked in quietly, in his same worn uniform, holding his mop handle like a walking stick. Principal Harris greeted him with a warm but curious expression. "James, or should I say, Professor James." Mr. James chuckled softly. "Just James is fine, sir." But the truth was finally revealed. Years ago, James had been a highly respected mathematics professor at a top university. He had published papers, spoken at international conferences, and mentored students who went on to become scientists and engineers. But after a tragic car accident that claimed the life of his wife and daughter, James walked away from everything. He left his career, his fame, and the academic world behind. He couldn't bear the weight of those memories in the same world where he once thrived. "I needed peace," he explained. "Not praise, I just wanted to work quietly." Principal Harris listened in silence, deeply moved. Word quickly reached Mr. Carson, the math teacher, who was more stunned than anyone. The next day, Mr. Carson stood before his class, visibly humbled. He apologized for making fun of Mr. James and admitted he had judged someone by their appearance and job title, without ever knowing the story behind them. At the end of that week, something incredible happened. Mr. James was offered a part-time position as a guest lecturer in the school's advanced math program. At first he hesitated. But after seeing the spark of curiosity in the student's eyes, the same spark he used to see years ago, he agreed. Soon, students began gathering after school, not to mop the halls, but to learn from the man they once overlooked. Mr. James taught with simplicity, passion, and kindness. He didn't care about grades or awards. He cared about understanding, about making students believe in their own potential. And slowly Lincoln High changed. Mr. James didn't just teach calculus. He taught everyone a life lesson. Never judge someone by their job, their clothes, or where you find them. Genius, kindness, and strength often wear the most ordinary masks. What began as a joke became a turning point for the school, for the students, and for Mr. James himself. Because sometimes the smartest person in the room is the one no one sees.